survivor at this year's championships, the last chance for a home player to win a title. And if Marc Schwiebler could come through this semi-final and contest the final tomorrow, he has a chance of writing history, because never before in the 56 previous German Opens has a home player won the men's singles. Well, I'm Jill Clark, and I'm absolutely delighted to say, as we see Martina Hingis, who's been here all afternoon. Of course, Martina Hingis, former world #1 tennis player and winner of 7 Grand Slam titles. Well, I know she's a fan of badminton. She loves the badminton, and I'm delighted to say I've got another fan and highly experienced man sitting beside me, Mark Spate, who has been here all week. He's one of the BWF certificated umpires. And Mark, from your point of view, I mean, you must be thrilled to bits with this tournament. The players have all been happy. The organisation has been wonderful.
It has,
and
yes.
We've had some great badminton.
It's been fantastic all week. The players on court have been good. There's not a lot for the umpires to do out there. And the audience has been fantastic. Yes,
it certainly has. And of course, with the men's singles coming up, there's going to be loud cheers for Marc Schwiebler. But we can talk a little bit about the disappointment in the men's singles. Of course, Tommy Sugiarto, who was the #1 seed, he withdrew before the start of play, which was a big disappointment. And then, of course, 4 seeds beaten in the second round of the men's singles discipline. That was a big surprise, but all their opponents thoroughly deserved the wins.
It just goes to show that the younger players, the more inexperienced players, are now coming through faster and faster.
Yeah, very much so. And of course, at semi-final stage, well, we've just seen the first men's singles semi-final, but it is a good reflection of the state of world badminton. 4 semi-finalists, 4 different nations represented.
Very good.
It is. I know there's been a lot of talk in the world of badminton from the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, about the dominance in Olympic Games from one particular nation. But at the last World Championships in Guangzhou last year, in the women's singles, for the first time ever, we had 4 different nations represented on the podium of the women's singles. So there's lots of signs that badminton is in a very healthy position.
Speaking from the German badminton side, a lot of the players, especially Marc Schwiebler, he's now playing a lot in Malaysia, training with Lee Chong-wei. And you can see that in his game. He's far more explosive on the court at the moment.
Well, I want to get an inside scoop from you, because I was working at the European Men's Team Championships a couple of weeks ago, which was staged in Basel in Switzerland. And Marc Schwiebler, I have to say, I was, dare I say it to a German, I was a little disappointed in him, because he lost 3 of his 4 matches, and I thought there was an injury problem.
I've obviously no idea, to be honest. I know he's previously had back problems, especially in his younger days. But if he's an injury problem at the moment, I've absolutely no idea.
Yeah, well, he certainly wasn't himself in Basel. And talking of that back injury, back in 2006, he had to undergo emergency surgery, and he was out for 18 months. And talking of players overcoming injury, here's another, the #12 seed, Hans Christian Wittinghus of Denmark. Because in 2007, after winning the Turkey International, had an MRI scan on his knee, and he was diagnosed with a very rare tumour, and obviously had to have that removed straight away. But great to see him back. Well, the fans are very much getting involved to welcome their hero onto court. The #4 seed, Marc Schwiebler, appearing in his first ever semi-final at his home event. Twice a quarter-finalist, but this year, my goodness, what a chance he's got of rewriting the history books. So this match from the bottom half of the draw, where the #2 seed, Boonsak Ponsana, was one of those 4 seeds to be beaten in the second round of the draw. The draw in the men's singles 64, whereas all other disciplines, the draw just 32. 6 different nations by quarter-final stage, 4 different nations here at semi-final. And for both men, well, the number 4 seed and the number 12 seed, as we look at our court officials for this second semi-final, both men have been pushed the full distance in at least one of their previous matches. Mark Schriebler was a little bit rusty in his opening game against Prasetyo of Indonesia. 23-21 in the deciding game for the left-hander. 29 years of age, he will turn 30 in 12 days' time. Currently number 11 in the world ranking, and that's the highest that he's ever been. One of his ambitions is to be in the top 10 in the world, and I tell you what, if he was to win here in Germany, I wouldn't be at all surprised if his world ranking did go into the top 10. But here the man's in his way is 28-year-old Hans Christian Wittinghus. 25 in the world ranking, although he has been as high as 14. Quarter-finalist at the World Championships in Wembley in 2011. And had he not reached that quarter-final, I suspect he wouldn't have got continued funding from the Danish Federation, because he was under threat from Finn Perup Hansen. But having reached that quarter-final, Hansen admitted that he had shown improvement and therefore could continue to get funding. And thank goodness he did. 13 tournaments last year, 2 finals, winning one of them, the Spanish International, and was beaten finalist at the London Grand Prix Gold. For Mark Schriebler, well, he had 2 finals last year. The Indonesian Premier Super Series and also the Bitburger Grand Prix Gold. So this, the 8th meeting between these 2 players of the previous 7. It's Hans Christian Wittinghus who has the advantage, having won 4 of those previous 7. But home advantage is always counts for perhaps
an extra point or 2 a game.
Exactly. Yeah. And there's no question the fans here will cheer this man every step of the way. Well, this year, Wittinghus in individual competition has not won a match prior to this tournament. Lost in the first round of both the Korean Super Series and the Malaysian Premier Super Series. Mark Schriebler, well, he lost in the second round of the Korean and first round of the Malaysian. Both these men, of course, very busy at those European Men's Team Championships. Of course, the Women's Team Championships were running alongside. But I bet there's butterflies in the tummies of both these men. This is a huge match for both of them. So Wittinghus, oh goodness, that was a loose serve to start the match, a sign of the nerves perhaps. But an excellent piece of deception from the number 4 seed, Mark Schriebler. Now, Schriebler may be down as far as the overall head-to-heads are concerned, but he has won the last 2 times that these 2 players have met each other. Good reactions. Well, Mark, I have to say, both men do look very nervous.
They do indeed. Movement around the court for both players is very broken up at the moment. It's not very smooth.
Just wide. And I don't know how you feel, but so often when I watch Hans-Christian Wittinghus, you know, he's such a fine athlete. He's so physically fit. His stamina is not in question. And because he's so good physically, I sometimes think he's so content just to rally with his opponent that he doesn't get on with winning the point. Is that something that you sometimes feel with him?
I only ever see him from the centre of the court. So the perspective I get is he works a lot on the court.
Yeah.
But probably like yourself, he doesn't always take the winning shot when he perhaps has the chance to do so.
And that's my point, yes,
yeah.
Absolutely, I agree with you. Well, the better start has been made by the European champion. 4-1. Oh dear, that was a poor serve too. And that's gone long. Quarter-finalist here 2 years ago, Wittinghus, when he was the number 10 seed, lost the eventual winner, Lin Dan of China. This is a good rally. Oh, yes. Bided his time. He worked his opponent first. And then when the opportunity arose, that's when Mark Schwiebler went for the winner. Of course, the last time that these two met each other was in the final of the European Mixed Team Championships last year in Ramenskoye in Russia. Oh, dear me. Well, normally we would probably say that the net play in men's singles is of paramount importance, because if you can get in the tight spinning net shot, you force your opponent to lift, yes, and that's when you can go for your winner. But so far, neither of them have really got their range with the net shots.
I think they're still both very nervous and starting to get into their stride a little bit more, but...
Well, that just proves my point, doesn't it? And it's the little touch shots when you are nervous that's the most difficult to play. It's much easier to give the shuttle a good old hit. And well, 4 straight points for this man. Oh, goodness me, indecision. Got away with it. Overdone it. Well, instinctively, I thought he was right to play that one. He was so undecided about it. I think it would have dropped in. And now this is 5 straight points for Wittinghus. Yeah, well taken. Good smash straight down the line. The only possible reply was a straight block. Now, having made the better start, Vittinghuis has just won 7 of the last 8 points. Mark Schwiebler.
Again, a loose shot out of court.
Yeah, the nerves are really crippling him at the moment. Oh, that's nice. Cross-court block. Tried another this time from the forehand side. And that longer rally is
more patient.
Yeah, and it's exactly what he needs to steady the nerves. Shuttle's absolutely gone. Yeah, one of the feathers coming out of the shuttle, making the shuttle wobble, changing the speed of it. No question they'd change that. Doesn't look to be at top speed at the moment, Mark Schwiebler. And the fact that we've got to the mid-game interval, 4-point advantage for Vittinghuis, greeted with almost silence from the fans. It's difficult to explain as a player what it feels like when you're crippled by nerves, because you so desperately want to relax, and yet how do you do that? And when you start making errors, you get even more tension in your body. I don't know what the answer is. I think I'd give a couple of huge, great big smashes to try and just release all that tension. Now, just take a look at Mark Schwiebler's serve, his backhand serve here. He always looks to me as if he doesn't settle properly and then suddenly just rushes it.
Over the years, Mark's serve has always been very quick.
Yeah.
He barely stands still and the shuttle's been delivered.
Yeah, that's well played. Now, just picking up on that point, Mark, because from your technical expertise, of course, we've got numerous serving rules. Shuttle must be struck below the waist, racket must be pointing in a downward direction, not allowed to move your feet. So, looking at him, do you think he's very borderline about moving?
He's very borderline, but the shuttle has been delivered before he moves.
Yeah. Only one forward movement of the racket. Must strike the cork first. And that's why we have you service judges. Sole duty is just to watch the serve.
And I firmly believe it's the hardest job we do out there.
Yeah. More so than umpiring?
Before the days of 2 servers per side, the fault of the service judge now is also a point to the other team.
Yeah.
So it becomes more pressure for the service judge.
Well taken, and every time he wins a point, it's greeted with rapturous applause from the fans. Again, you know, I'm watching him and somehow I want to shake Mark Schwiebler and say, come on, just relax. You know, because that shot there, his jump was mistimed.
I feel also, even though the German crowd is an extra point or 2 on his side, the extra pressure he must be feeling playing in front of a German crowd.
Very good point. Yeah. Under pressure to try and please the home fans. Of course, I'm British, and we've had that for a long, long time. In tennis, waiting for another men's singles champion at Wimbledon, but after a 77-year wait was over. And Andy Murray won last year. But I know the sort of pressure because Tim Henman, former British #1 tennis player, felt the pressure every year, and I'm sure Schwiebler is feeling the pressure right now. 6-point advantage now for Vitihus.
Wir gratulieren dem Nummer 1 gesetzt, der Japaner Misaki Matsutomo und Ayaka Takahashi zum Finale der YONEX Open. Da haben wir auch ganz klar Ebengerüste und Selina Pi für Ecuador.
Oh, good angle. Yep. Now, the reason that's so deceptive is the fact that he slices across the feathers. Means that because you're giving the shuttle a glancing blow, you've got to hit the shuttle still very hard to generate the pace. But because the racket head is coming through so quickly, your opponent thinks it's going to be a power shot, but of course the shuttle dies so quickly. It's a great disguise. Once again, an almost stony silence. Just a little ripple of applause.
But the lifts from Mark are not going to the back of the court. They're going 3/4 court and they're just being killed.
Yeah, I've been talking earlier today, Mark, about the slight drift in this arena. The shuttle is flying a little faster going towards that far side of the court. And I just wonder whether he's so tentative about hitting long that he's overcompensating and hitting short. Oh, missed opportunity. Yeah, he's not happy with that. And Skurskin. That's said about the drift. I've been chatting to a lot of the players this week and they've all been singing the praises of this venue. They all love playing here. They say it's a great atmosphere.
I've been umpiring here the German Open for 17 years. And I've got to say this year, I think the arena, the surroundings, the lighting, the televisions above the courts, it's becoming very, very professional here.
Yeah. Well, part of the BWF Grand Prix Gold, the first year, the international governing body has brought the Grand Prix Golds under its own umbrella. And my goodness me, what a wonderful step forward that is. As you say, whole setup, I walked into the arena and I thought, wow, this looks terrific. Yeah, clawing his way back. And all of a sudden, just a 4-point deficit. And there's belief that it can be closed. Oh, that's gone long. That could be costly. Just thought that Schwiebler needed a couple more points in that run.
Germany, service judge Christoph Rosewold, Germany.
Well, just allows his opponent to test out the new racket. It's very much a courtesy amongst the players.
Yeah,
Oh, yes. Nicely done. Well, that was a much better timing on the shot.
Took the shuttle very early, I thought.
Oh, that's brilliant. What a net shot. You know, it was just going through my mind in the early stages of that rally that we still weren't seeing the tight spinning net shots. On one of the few occasions it's been played, and it was played to perfection. Oh dear, that's loose. Oh, he got away. Oh, it's gone long. It's gone long. Well, no wonder he's got his hands on his hips. He had an open court. He could have played it anywhere and it would have been an outright winner. But instead, his opponent has got 4 game point opportunities. Inoue needs the 1. Oh, goodness me. 21-16 in 19 minutes of play. This the penultimate. No, it wasn't quite the penultimate point. Well, the Danish coach, Sven Sorensen, and the 2 German coaches, Holger Hasser and Zhu Yunwang. Now, the Chinese coach, who has lived and worked in Germany for a number of years now.
Primarily with Mark.
Yeah, and I think part of his influence has been his improvement on the net shots. But whilst he's crippled with nerves, he's not going to be able to play those. There he is. Yeah, big influence. Wow. Now that's interesting. Obviously, I don't know what on earth they're saying, but it seems to me as if he was saying, look, you've got such tension in your arms.
The body language is saying that.
So the coaches know it, we know it, the fans know it. Has he the mental strength to somehow bring himself out of this? Really tentative play and nervous play. Well, I suspect making a good start to this second game is imperative.
Yes.
Oh, it's well taken.
Eine wichtige Information, important information, Michelle Lee from Canada, please come to the info point. Und noch eine Info, 3 Autos stehen in der Feuerwehrzufahrt. Die Polizei ist schon hier im Haus und sie haben jetzt noch genau 3 Minuten, ihre Autos wegzufahren, wenn sie das nicht der Polizei überlassen wollen. Das sind die Autos mit den Kennzeichen GT VS 186.
Yeah.
Well taken.
Well, a little look from Wietinghus back to his coach, as if to say, should I have played that? Would that have gone long? Oh, dear, dear me. You can't help but feel for the man. Yeah, it's a great defensive shot from Wietinghus. Both these men have enjoyed success in international level. Wietinghus, 10 career titles. Juibla, 11. Juibla has yet to win the Grand Prix Gold event. And Wietinghus only won a Grand Prix Gold. That was the 2011 Bitburger event here in Germany. Good defense. Well, when I see him hit winners like that, Wietinghus, that's why I wonder, and that's why I made the comment at the start of the match. Why on earth doesn't he do that more often?
Yep, he took the shuttle very early then. Mark had no chance of getting it.
Yeah, Mark didn't help himself by taking the shuttle late at the back of the court. There's our young court attendants. Now, somebody told me they're from the youngsters from the local badminton club.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lovely to see them here. My goodness, they'll be learning a lot, won't they, from watching these top players.
This is a pretty typical German thing, slow rhythmic clapping, trying to get Mark going.
Yeah, we hear it a lot over the European continent, don't we? It's nice, the players like it.
They do.
Oh, that's a good shot. Short. Yeah, got what it deserved. And that rally, that winner, should help settle the nerves. Yeah. Well, that's at least 3 or 4 occasions we've seen that cross-court winning smash from deep in his forehand corner. Obviously, it's a tactical thing that Schwiebler has been told, try and play your opponent deep in the forehand side. I'm not sure that I completely understand that tactic, if indeed he has been advised that. Ooh, service fault called. Struck above the waist, says Bert van Poremek of Belgium, our service judge. Well, he wants to go and have a word. There's no need to go and have a word. This is something that I've been having a bugbear about.
It's happening more and more.
And
the players know the signal.
Exactly. Every service judge gives a clear hand signal as to what the fault was.
Correct. Yeah.
Should be no need to then go and ask. Now, let's just explain a little bit more about that last service fault. It was called for struck above the waist. Now, people looking at that at home may say, well, that one looked above the waist as well, because most of us judge the waist by where our clothes come. And I can assure you I'd go up a few sizes with my clothes if that was the waist as we all know it. Good rally. But in badminton, just explain the definition of the waist in badminton terms.
The waist is defined as the lower rib, where the lower rib comes, and an easy way to gauge it, if a player is holding his arm down and he puts his arm at a right angle, is where his elbow comes. That is sort of our guideline of where the waist officially is.
Yeah. So there you go. That's why when I say the shuttle's got to be struck below the waist, why most of the time it looks as if it's way above the waist, because in badminton terms, that's the definition.
There are plans afoot to change the service laws. The service has to be down below 1.10 meters for all players.
And what's your feeling about that?
Mixed feeling, really.
I'm totally against it.
I've got a mixed feeling. I think it's going to advantage the smaller player.
Exactly. And the whole point of sports is to make the most of your physicality. Yeah. And tall players have an advantage when they're attacking because of the smash, but they have a disadvantage getting down low when they have to defend shots. And I think as soon as you take away the influence of a player's physicality, then you're defeating the point of sport, really. Oh, hum. We'll debate it long and hard, I'm sure, in the world of badminton. But this is very, very dangerous times for the European champion, Mark Schwiebler. 5 points adrift. He needs to try and close this gap before the mid-game interval. That's for sure. Yeah, good return. Yeah, 4-point advantage for Hans Christian Wittinghus. And the number 4 seed from Germany is in big trouble.
A bit of a mountain to climb now.
Not impossible, though.
Yep.
Well, the fans, I'm sure, are a little bit disappointed in his performance so far. But there'll be nobody more disappointed than Mark Schwiebler himself. He's such a battler, such a fighter on court. As I say, 2 weeks ago, I was convinced he was injured. I really was, but there was never a complaint from him. He played every match. He kept going out there, putting himself on the line and refused to give up. In fact, on the commentary, I actually said, I think it was in his match against the Ukrainian Dmytro Zavadsky, I said, I think he's going to quit. He's really in physical distress. But no, he refused to quit.
He is a fighter.
Yeah.
Getting frustrated with himself now, I think.
Yeah. Tapping his head with his racket. Oh, good smash. Schwiebler played so well yesterday in his quarterfinal against Sung Won Ho, the number 6 seed from Korea. He's looking for that cross-court one now. Yeah. Well, again, I had my concerns the way he bent over as he first picked up his towel. Whether that back was a little bit stiff. No, we're reaching the point of it's now or never for Mark Schwiebler. Oh, very, very well taken. Gave it a lot of air on that return of serve. Oh, the luck of the net cord, for which Hans Christian Wittinghus immediately apologises. But for the German, he'll think the whole world's conspiring against him. Even the luck's against him. You've got to just put that out of your mind, though, haven't you?
Yeah.
Oh, that is brilliantly taken. He very, very rarely uses the tumbling or spinning net shot, but he does take the shuttle early at the net.
Yeah.
And because he's taking it early, then he's got the options. He can play it to the back or play that lovely little cross-court as he did on that occasion. Now, I think it really is the edge of the parapet for Mark Schwiebler. That's not going to help his cause. Oh, well, there you go. There's a tight spinning net shot. Well, again, like his attacking play, I wonder why he doesn't do more of that. Well, not that the home fans will be wondering that.
No, they're very quiet at the moment, aren't they?
3 points away for our place in the final, Vittinghus. 2 points away. Schwiebler at the back of the court getting advice from coaches. All they can do is encourage. Match point opportunities have arrived for Vittinghus. 9 of them. And it looks as if German hearts are about to be broken. Oh my goodness, well, you never know, do you? Fancy serving into the net.
I've seen matches come back from this, but very seldom.
Yeah. Good net shot. Oh, he gets right. Oh, inspired piece of play from Schwiebler. The lift was so short, he had to guess which way the smash was going to come. And he guessed correctly. Gone wide, and on his 3rd match point opportunity, the number 12 seed Hans Christian Vittinghus defeats the European champion Mark Schwiebler. Well, the German number 1 just could not produce the same sort of form today as he showed earlier in the week. He's going to throw a racket to a lucky fan. Vittinghus wins 21-16, 21-13 in a match lasting just 40 minutes. And for Hans Christian Vittinghus, well, he'll be absolutely delighted. He was in the final of the London Grand Prix Gold event last year. This year, in the 2nd Grand Prix Gold event of the year, he's through to the final. Their confirmation of the score, 21-16, 21-13. And I think we're going to get a word with the winner, Vittinghus.
Wir werden gar nicht mehr auf den Markt ablegen, aber ich denke, es gebührt den Respekt auch gegenüber unserem Gast hier, der aus Dänemark kommt. Conrad, it was a perfect match today.
I'm extremely happy. Mark is always a very tough opponent for me. I think we've had 6 or 7 really close matches, so I'm over the moon winning in 2 games. really didn't expect that, but I think I played the best badminton I could.
Also er sagt, er hat wirklich einen tollen Tag erwischt. Ich hätte nie gedacht, dass das hier in 2 Sätzen so knapp gehen könnte. Aber es war einfach sein Tag. Tomorrow, it's the final. Against Arvidsjaur. Did you think it's possible to win this tournament here in Germany?
I think I have just a good chance as Arvid does. He's played really well in this tournament, but I think I've done the same. And so I think it's going to be a close battle. But I think it's also going to be very entertaining. This is very entertaining. My defense is very good for long battles.
Also er sagt, er war ein tolles Match, auch für die Zuschauer, denn er hat eine tolle Woche gespielt.
Ja, natürlich. Also wenn man die letzten Wochen bei mir anschaut, dann bin ich eigentlich mit jedem Spiel, was ich gewonnen habe, froh, um ehrlich zu sein. Halbfinale zu spielen ist super, ich hätte gerne Finale gespielt, deswegen überwiegt natürlich die Enttäuschung, aber ich komme auf jeden Fall wieder, denn das ist das schönste Turnier in Deutschland. Vielen Dank und ja, viel Spaß noch.
Den werden wir auch haben, aber wir hatten auch halt ein bisschen Spaß.
Well, Mark, quickly tell us what was being said there.
He was just saying that he was very disappointed with himself in his the way he played that semi-final. He was very pleased with the matches he's played previously. He's told the public that he'll be back next year, that he loves playing in Germany, and that's where the applause came in.
Yeah.
Heute hat es nicht gereicht, aber das hier den Zuschauern keine Schuld zuschieben. Das war schon mein eigenes Versagen und es kann nur helfen.
Es kann nur helfen und nächstes Jahr versprochen wird es wieder richtig laut werden. So wie heute, einmal kriegen wir das noch hin. Wir sagen Dankeschön für eine tolle Turnierwoche, auch wenn es heute nicht gereicht hat. Das ist der Mann, der da heißt Mark! Alles Gute, der Mann.
He was just asked if the public helped him, and he said just it helped him a lot. It wasn't their fault that he lost, it was his own fault. He didn't play well enough on the day.
Well, both men speaking very nicely in those interviews, both praising the other. And of course, the wait for the home fans for a home winner of the men's singles goes on. Well, obvious disappointment. There's a little rumble around the stadium.
I have a feeling we might see a lot of the patrons going.
Oh, I think that's a bit harsh. Of course, that was the match they all wanted to come and see. But this last semi-final that we've got, the mixed doubles, I think this should be an absolute cracker. It features Robert Blair and Imogen Bankier. Robert Blair, of course, is a former champion here, winning the title in 2011 with Gabby White. And now playing with Imogen Bankier. And they'll be up against Manapong Jonjit, who we saw in the first of our semi-finals in the men's doubles. He's playing mixed doubles with Sapsari Taratanachai. And of course, the Thailand pair unseeded. How much of an impact, Mark, do you think it will have for tomorrow's ticket sales, the fact that there's no German involved? The German fans here are very knowledgeable. They will know there's good badminton on offer tomorrow.
From what I hear, tomorrow's already been sold.
Fantastic.
It's already been sold out.
Yeah.
It's like today has been sold out for weeks and if not months.
Yeah. Well, there you go. And the stadium here, how many people? What's the maximum capacity?
I've absolutely no idea.
No, but there's been people standing
There's people standing on the rails, there's people sitting in the aisles,
Yeah.
getting any advantage point they can.
Yeah, don't tell health and safety about that. But it's been wonderful. I mean, we've had people standing just behind our commentary position. It really has been terrific atmosphere today. But as I say, we await the arrival of the mixed doubles, the last of our semi-finals this afternoon.